Okay. So monoprinting with a gel plate. These are our gel plates, or jelly plates. They're gelatin plates. So you can actually make these with regular gelatin, but we have a class set. You want to be mindful that every little thing is going to make an impression on this. And what I mean by that is, so if you leave it, I don't know if you can see here, you can see some creases. That's because it was left laying on top of a creased bag. And some of that should go out just because we'll be putting it on a flat surface. So I'm going to use the other side, which is our flat surface. Each one has this lovely postcard, and we're going to actually at the end put that on top to help keep it nice and flat. All right, so today we're going to use just three pieces of print paper. So we're going to put our name on this before we even touch the paint. That way we're just ready to go. And our whole goal is just to layer and experiment with the paints. So here's my plate. I have some tools. One of the key things to keep in mind, you don't need a lot of paint. A little goes a long way. If you get too much paint, well, then our prints are overly saturated. So I'm putting down just some color. Whoops, maybe I'm putting down some color. Oh, okay, so that yellow came out way too much, so I'm just gonna leave that gob. I'm not gonna put any more yellow down. We have a brayer, and we're actually gonna have two of them because if we decide to use yarn or something that is up against the surface, then the other brayer can help be a burnisher. So I'm gonna go ahead and put my paint down. If we decide that we don't have enough paint on here, you can easily add more, but it's a lot harder to take it off, so go slow. Once I've inked my plate, I have just some scrap paper, and I'm gonna run my brayer on that just to get it clean. We're not cleaning this plate in between prints. So now I've got some tools. You always want to use a soft tool on the jelly plates because they will get ruined. So nothing hard, nothing that's going to scratch the surface. And so from here, I can create patterns. Different sides do different things. Got to keep in mind that this is a print, so everything will come in reverse. So I've got my simple design down. I'm going to use one of my papers. I'm just going to set it down. We burnished the back, so we're rubbing it. This is where I said if there was something else underneath there we could use to pull it up. And then I pull my print. You do want to work a little quickly just because things dry. You can always use a little bit of scrap, what am I thinking of? Not scrap paper. You can use a mist, a little bit of mist on your paper to re-wet your paint. It'll come off that way. I would suggest having another blank piece of paper so that you can pull ghost prints. That also cleans off. See, there was nothing there for me. Most of it came off. Not cleaning my plate. It's actually, there's no more paint on there. Nothing will come off. So now I'm going to go ahead and put down some more color. This time I'm choosing just to do the blue. I would recommend sticking with just 1 to 2 colors. And then think about our color theory. Think about how colors play with each other. Anytime you use black, it's going to take over really quick. So I've inked. Now I'm going to do that. And this time, maybe I will just kind of maybe I'll use the scraping side and kind of scrape out across. Okay. And I'm actually going to use the same sheet. I'm going to use the same paper. You can do tons of different layers on the same sheet, which is the reason why I've limited it to 3 sheets, because it forces the students to get creative and do some interesting things. The same is, well, I could try to pull a ghost print. So some of that came off. This time, I don't know why I'm using this yellow. It doesn't want to come out. Okay, going to use some yellow. Whoa. Okay, a little bit too much blue. But I want that streak of yellow right there in the middle. Okay, so this is where I could lay a piece of string. I don't have string with me, but even if I took some strips of paper, you want some fun torn paper. Maybe. And then Q-tips are fun because they just pull right off. Okay. And then I can take my paper, put it down again, and pull my print. So this is masking off areas, and we can continue just to do this. So for this first lesson, what I had them do is I had them use the tools. I had them do many layers. I also had them use string. So we didn't do torn paper, but I mean, you're more than welcome to. Magazine paper works better than printer paper just because it's got that glossy finish on it. So cleaning up is real nice and easy. You just want to make sure they use paper and pull off as much of that ink as they can. And if you look, I forgot to roll out my brayer. You want to do that as soon as possible. So just remind the students, because from here, most of the ink is gone. It's an easy wipe just to wipe the rest off. You don't want to use chemicals on your gel plate and they're going to stain. Like this, the paint's not going to come completely off. So it's just a little bit of soap, a little bit of water, wipe it down, dry it off, and then you're gonna put this back on, and then we will stack, making a nice neat pile. This is just the beginning of the uses of our jelly plate.